Oh my word, can you believe it's already March? It's time for our crochet stitch of the month. And this month we are going to be doing a half double crochet. This is my favorite stitch. So let's go check it out. Hey y'all, it's JJ with Baby Girl Craftin', and this month we are going to be doing a half double crochet. We are going to keep it simple. I like to get crazy with my half double crochets, but for this month we're going to keep it simple just so you can learn the stitch. It's my favorite stitch as of yet, and I just love the things that I can do with it. We're going to be doing it in the color, this gray color from that Pantone, Karen Pantone, Wistfully something or other that you can see. Nostalgicment. You'd think by now I'd figure out how to say it, but I haven't. And this is the colorway. Just kind of we did the pink and we've done the green. We're doing this gray color now, and then next month we'll be doing the brown taupe color and then the purple. And then I've got another one, well this one, and we'll be going into that. So what you're going to need is some yarn. If this is new to you and you haven't crocheted before and you're just learning this new stitch, I strongly suggest not using this yarn. It is very difficult to work with, in my opinion. So I would just use some worsted weight, just some basic yarn to practice, and that way, you know, and it gets some of the inexpensive like Red Heart and stuff like that, because then you won't feel, you know, because then you'll be able to just practice over and over, because practice is what will help you so that you get better at what you're doing, and if you decide to throw it away, you won't feel bad. The next thing you're going to need is a crochet hook. I'm using this 5.5 millimeter, and I'll use a 5.5 millimeter through the entire series just so that I have some consistency. I suggest that. And then you'll also need some scissors, which I don't have with me. They're in the other room. All right, so let's get started with the tutorial. All right, so we're starting this month off with the half double crochet, which, as I've said, is my favorite stitch. We're going to start with a slip knot, and then we are going to chain 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so the half double crochet, we are going, this one has it's a tall stitch, but it's not as tall as the double crochet. So you have an option here of either chaining 1 or chaining 2. We're going to go ahead and chain 2. So that's 20 chain stitches plus 2 to add height to go to the next row. Those 2 chain stitches do not count as a stitch. What we're going to do here is we're going to do yarn over hook and into the 3rd chain from hook. And we're going to yarn over and pull through the yarn. And now we have 3 loops on hook. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all 3 of those chains. Then we're going to yarn over hook, go to the next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 if it wants to. Okay, so, and the reason I like this particular stitch is there's so many different ways that you can variate the stitch, but for for purposes of this learning the stitch this month, we're just going to do a straight out half double crochet. So yarn over hook, Pantone is driving me nuts, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So yarn over, pull through, or go through, Make sure you go through both loops if you're doing 2 loops or 1 loop. But make sure you don't split your yarn. That's what's happening to me right now. It wants to split. Alright. We'll go ahead and do this to the end of the row. Or yarn over and go through. And then the big thing here is that you pull through all 3 of the loops on hook. So yarn over, go through your chain, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Now yarn over hook, go into your chain stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through. Alright, we'll do this just a little bit faster. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3. Yarn over, through chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, yarn over, go into your chain stitch without splitting the loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. So you can see that this is making a taller stitch than a single crochet, but not as tall as the double crochet. So this is a good stitch if you want to add some height, but you don't want as much height as a double crochet. So let's go ahead and just finish to the end of the row. Yarn over through the chain stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 3. Yarn over, go through the chain stitch, yarn over, and pull through 3. Yarn over, go into your chain stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 3. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 3. Okay, so we just got a few more stitches left to do for this row. Now, are you guys doing the 20 stitches too, or are you guys making your squares bigger or smaller? Or how are you guys doing it? I'm excited to see how this little lap quilt turns out at the end of the year. I'm already trying to decide what stitches to do for next year. So we obviously don't want to do the same stitches again. So if you have any ideas of what stitches you'd like to see next year, let me know, and I thought we'll do a stitch of a month next year too. Okay, so we're on our last stitch for this row. We're going to go yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on hook, yarn over and pull through 3. Alright, this is where we're going to chain 2 to go up to the next row. Then we're going to turn our work. And we have our little tail here. We just kind of try and keep it out of the way. We'll put it in, or sew it in. It's at the ends, at the end of doing this. So we've chained 2. I've chained 2, and we're gonna yarn over hook, go into the very first stitch because those chains don't count, yarn over, pull through, and then we're gonna yarn over and pull through 3. Okay, that's what we're gonna just keep doing. Yarn over, go through the stitch, make sure you go through both of the top thread or yarn pieces. I call it the V. And then yarn over and pull through 3. There actually is different ways of looking at this that makes it so you can see, you can do fun things with it, like back loops and things like that. It gives it some ridges. But for now, we're just going to yarn over, and pull through 3. So go ahead and do a few rows. I'm guessing it's going to take about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 10 or 11 rows maybe to get to where we want to be. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you chain 2 at the end to go to the next row, and then we will come back and I'll show you how we ended it off. So yarn over, go through, yarn over and pull through, so you have 3 on hook, and carefully pull through 3 with this yarn. Oops, it just splits. All right, so I'll see you guys back here in a little bit, and we'll be able to finish off this month's Stitch of the Month square. Super excited. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I hope you guys are too, and learning stitches as we go along too. These stitches I actually kind of know, which is why next month or next year I'd like to do some stitches that I don't know, so we can learn some new stitches. However, the knit stitches, if you're following along in the knit section, I am definitely not familiar with these stitches, and it's a complete learning process. So if you're just learning to crochet, I feel the anxiety, or feel your pain, because it is sometimes a process, but you know what? The best thing you can do is practice. Make lots of mistakes and figure out how to not make them again, because mistakes are awesome if you learn from them. Actually, I've learned to do some funny things with my yarn because of mistakes I've made, and I liked the way it looked. So in crocheting and probably knitting too, I'm not there yet, making a mistake is not always a bad thing. See, like right there, my yarn split, so no problem, just redo it. Oh wait, we're going through all 3. Okay, there we go. 2 more stitches, and then I will see you guys back in just a little bit. All right, chain 2, and we're off to the races. All right, see you guys later. I'll be right back. So now that you've had a chance to work with the half double crochet, if you noticed, you have the V that sits on top, but there's always this third V or second V on the other side. So that right there, because we're pulling through 3 stitches, it gives us a 1, 2, 3 stitches to play around with. And it's the manipulation of those different stitches that can add some depth and texture to your piece. This right here is just working through those the top stitches, and you still see a little bit of variation because you have that third stitch, that third piece of yarn, that third stitch that keeps having to go somewhere, so it kind of goes on the front or the back. But you can really emphasize that depth based on different ways of manipulating that stitch. And that's one of the things I really, really like about this stitch, is having some fun with that. So I'm currently done with my half double crochet. I haven't pulled it through yet, but you know, to do that, we just snip it and then pull it through, tighten a little bit, and then we'll weave in the ends. So this is this month's stitch, the half double crochet. So we're getting quite a little pile of our little squares, and it'll be fun to put them together at the end of the year. Until next time, later peeps.